I think it's the perfect song to start
Yeah,
on. That's for sure.
Johnny. Good
It's
stuff.
perfect. Oh, my favorite.
Yay! What's up there, buddy?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I can barely hear you though. Are you a little quieter today?
Uh-oh. I don't know. Let's try that.
Ooh,
How's
that
that?
does sound better. I just don't
Better?
want. Sometimes when I'm louder than you, I end up talking over you, and that's. I don't need any help doing that. I have a bad
Oh, it's
habit
all good.
anyway.
Is that better? Are we good on levels?
Honestly,
I
it's
may have
it's a
actually.
little low, but maybe I could bring you up on my side. I
All
bet
right.
I can, and we'll just
Let me
have
know because we
everybody be here
probably
for this. What's that?
might have I might have actually tweaked it whenever I did that VW podcast. I can't remember if
It's
we've
it's
done one
really you're
since then
like
or
less
not.
than half of what you're usually at. I'm looking at the
Weird.
levels here.
That's really weird. Well, I'll bump it up on my end. How's that?
It's better, but you're still not
Better.
there.
Weird.
Yeah.
You want me to
All right.
leave the room and come
Maybe I
back?
can. Maybe I can. No, I can't. I thought maybe I could tweak your audio from here, but I can't. All right. Well,
That's
I guess we're
weird. I
gonna have to
wonder
live
what's
with it.
up.
It is
Uh-oh.
what it is.
Well, that's crazy.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, man.
I should probably do the thing here and say that welcome back. Welcome back to our friend at home. Thank you for joining us during our technical rehearsal. We happen to air live for you, for your enjoyment at home. Today is Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. It is Tuesdays with Tori here in the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan, and I'm sitting here sort of with my good old buddy Tori Alonso, calling in
What's
from
going on?
Pittsburgh. What's up there, brother?
Pittsburgh in the house. Man, it's getting cold here. Oh, I'm not happy. It's supposed to be down in the 30s this weekend.
The 30s?
Legit, the 30s. Yeah, I was looking at the
Do you have any
forecast.
idea what's going on here right now?
I know you're probably like everyone in California is like, I would gladly take the 30s over like burning
Oh
to death.
yeah, but I don't mean it like that. I mean just the world is nuts if it's like that there and
Yeah,
this
I
here.
don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've got to break out the jackets here pretty soon. It looks like.
Good grief. Well, with that, thank you everybody at home for tuning us in this evening. We're going to be going through a few things. We got some viewer mail I want to talk about. It's actually a giveaway, but it arrived. You're going to be talking about Cobra Kai, of course, because Jay did it and he's caught up. We're going to go down the bug hole with Tori, see what's happening with the bug chase, the beetle chase, the Volkswagen Beetle chase. We'll catch you up on the story of how we've gotten it so far, and then we'll pick up where we left off last week. I do want to talk a little bit about the fires that have been going on out here, and the breakfast clubs because of it. And we should probably also talk about some guests that we have coming up as well later. So that's what's on my agenda, buddy, as well as whatever just comes up naturally.
Full show. It sounds like that's cool.
Can't wait to watch this one. Do you ever watch them back?
I
And
do.
this is not.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
mean it from like a. Well, it doesn't matter for any reason. Do you ever?
yeah. I do actually. Yeah, because sometimes I'll like, I don't know. You get so caught up in stuff, and then it's like, what did we talk about? And then
Ooh,
sometimes I'll go
I
back
have
and
that. I
yeah,
totally
that's
have
why.
that. I'll tell you the ones I definitely. No, I shouldn't say I try to, but more often than just a regular show. The ones I will is if we have talked during the week or even, God forbid, that day, because I
Right.
totally forget what the heck we what we talked about. Like what I forget what made the show, and I have to watch the show to see what made the show.
Yeah, I do the same
Which is
exact
kind of
thing.
funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
With that, where do you
So
want to
what's up with
start?
the fires out there, man? Like, oh
Oh,
my
buddy.
God, I've seen the pictures. Like that picture you sent me the other day with the sun. Like that was crazy.
You know what? Let's open with that then, since
Yeah.
you're curious. I've got some pictures from last. Oh yeah, I don't have loaded in the picture with the sun, but what I sent you was no filter, and it looked much. It didn't look as bad in the picture through the phone as it did in real life. In real life, it
That's
looks like
insane. I mean, you
every
literally just like
Mad
walked
Max,
outside
Blade
and
Runner,
like,
every post-apocalyptic movie you've ever
oh,
known.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. Let's see, maybe that's it. I don't. Maybe that tweaks it. Say something.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but it's just not high enough. I'm gonna keep. I'll just stay far away. All right, so here are some photos from this is from when we tried to go to Breakfast Club the other day, or when
Oh,
we went
okay.
to Breakfast Club the other day. We just didn't make it to Newcomb's. All right, that was at the bottom of 9 Mile.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
looking up, and that is, I mean, really, really far away. And that was on the inside where there was basically no smoke. When we got to the top of 9 Mile, which is back up at Angeles Crest Highway, we took a left and we got about a mile before we were shut down. And here's what that looked like. Roll it out. We're doing it. It's Good Vibes Breakfast Club, except we can't go all the way to Newcomb's. But the Caltrans people are nice, allowing us to do it here. I guess apparently a lot of Porsches have already turned around. They were sent home because, of course, all the roads are closed. Because, of course, the fires, which, as you can see, are happening currently about 2 miles up the road there. Yeah. So
Jeez.
very few Porsches actually made it and stayed. Only a few of us actually stayed there. But
Ugh.
we offered and gave coffee and donuts to the guys that were up there, which was
Oh,
obviously
that's cool.
kind of the point. once,
Yeah.
once there's no Breakfast Club, it was sort of like, holy cow, you guys are working. Here you go.
Ugh.
So yeah, it's nuts. I'm talking to people back home in Connecticut. Well, actually, he's in New York, but talked to Steve Straley today via text, who was talking. Sent me a picture of the sun from where he is in New York, like Orange County, New York, like right by Orange County Choppers, and it looked just like ours.
Yeah, it's crazy. We
How is
have
it
we have
where
a
you are in Pittsburgh, or yeah,
yeah, we
Pittsburgh
actually
area?
have a smoke advisory. I saw like on the I saw on the weather today or whatever it said like blowing smoke from wildfires and it was going to be hazy here. So I mean I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if that's coming all the way from California, but
No, I think it is.
it's crazy.
It's as I understand it, as the news and as the maps will show you. The they're showing the satellite maps that they show where the cloud goes and it gets caught up in a
Mhm.
cyclone here or whatever. East Coast, all the way as far as Europe from our
Jeez.
smoke from California. I mean, there's been, I guess it's 3 million acres, over 3 million acres have burned so far this season, which is a record by like quite some margin. And we haven't even really, we're just starting the fire season. We're not
Yeah,
actually
like
in like
have
what is the bad fire season here. It kind of would be
right has the
starting
Santa
now in
Ana
September.
winds
Yeah, it would be
have the
starting now.
Santa they've already started. Okay,
No,
gotcha.
but that's what
Ugh.
it would be generally, and I mean that's a big part of it for sure. You're right.
Jeez. That's crazy. And then
Yeah,
up
it's
in
weird.
Oregon and ugh.
It in the weirdest way though. This has. I mean, in the weirdest way, we know how to stay in our homes because of this. Anybody who doesn't
Yeah.
because of COVID or whatever else, you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a
Yeah.
fire and you can see that the air is crap. Stay in your house. It's almost
Yeah.
like, oh, people can process this easier. And they're like, oh, right. Okay, let's go do that. I don't know
Mhm.
if I'm right about that or not, but it seems like it's a lot quieter out there currently, even since COVID.
Wow. Well, I mean, it can be good to be breathing that in. I saw something the other day on the news that was like, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but it said like LA's had the worst air quality since like the 70s. The other day it had this. I was like, geez. I mean, it's really bad out there. And for
I
people
heard
that
that. I
have,
also heard in the world right now. And
I
that's
believe it.
and I
Yeah.
don't know that if that's true or not, but again, it was a statistic on one thing. I didn't research it further. But I mean, I remember
Jeez.
when like we were looking over on the other side of the world to like places in China where to have
Mm-hmm.
that like wasn't it Shanghai and stuff where you couldn't see through the air? Might not be there. I can't
Yeah,
remember. Somewhere over there.
India's got some pretty bad spots too, I know,
Oh,
because like I
right,
mean,
right. Good point.
it's
Yeah.
all like two-stroke scooters and stuff just billowing blue smoke. So, yeah, I'm
Right.
sure that's up there too. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
Ugh.
it's weird. It's weird here. The for me it's the nature. I mean, it's all forest fires are part of nature. I mean, like whether people were here or not, they would happen.
Yeah,
because of
of course.
nature. But like when you hear that one like this started because of a gender release party up in the canyons, a photo shoot for a gender release party up in the canyons, it's kind of like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
we doing?
I know.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to rain on
unfortunate.
anybody's parade, but like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's
And obviously, that was no
scary.
one's intention. I'm sure that was no one's intention. But I mean, currently, right now, while I sit here, you can see these. I have in the wide not just a little bit. There are a few whatever, you won't be able to see it, but if you were actually here and you could see this highly detailed set that we had built for us, you would see a few antenna up on a fake hill out in our fake skyline over here. I mean, out in our window to our view out to Burbank over here. That represents sort of a pseudo Mount Wilson, which is up on our drive up in Angeles Crest. Mount Wilson is an
Right, that's the
observatory.
observatory, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's also a government installation. So they are currently right now, as I sit here, protecting that. About 2 hours before we started the show, the flames were the fire was 500 feet from
Oh,
the observatory, which is
oh my
effing
God, are you
close.
serious?
Yeah, they'll protect
Oh,
it. It's pretty well protected by roadways and other things anyway. And
mm-hmm.
it's a government installation. A few years ago, during I think it was the Signal Fire, they literally had to sacrifice other areas of the forest while they moved every bit of operations to protect the observatory, which I'm sure they're probably doing right now. But it's a big deal. Like I don't know if people realize like it's a big deal. I mean, they're literally it's a big deal. It's not
Oh
just
man,
deer and rabbits and stuff like that. The things that I like to think about. Like, no, there's like every radio station in Los Angeles has their antenna right there. Every single one.
jeez, jeez.
Crazy pants. So
Oh
yeah,
man,
it's a big deal. Yet we're not like our homes aren't affected. I mean, down here in Toluca Lake, we're closer to the. I mean, we're right at the foot of the Hollywood Hills, so
yeah,
we're nowhere near that fire. We're not in any danger, shy of whatever the inhalation things that we're all dealing with. But it is where we drive. It is where Newcomb's is. Shout out and
right.
love, huge shout out and love to Danny and Darren who are hunkering down up at the cabin, and also to Karina who took the animals, pulled up all her, got Karina's Ark, her giant old Suburban, Karina's Ark, and took all the animals down to the bottom of the mountain to be safe. Darren and Danielle were packed with the kitties in the cargo things, ready to go for a couple days, and then his intuition and 40 plus years living on that mountain, he can kind of he knows what's up, a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. But shout out
wow.
to all those guys who are dealing with it however they're dealing with it. We thought we'd be able to go up to the cabin the other day with the coffee and donuts. That was our intention. We thought we'd be able to make it up and bring that to
Yeah.
them. And they, we didn't quite get that far. So, very long
So
answer
are
to
you
your
going to be able?
question. How's it going with the fires? It's weird. It's weird.
Uh,
Nobody really knows how to deal with it.
that's not good. Are you going to be able to go up? I mean, probably not Friday either, right? I would imagine.
Well, it's a good question. There's a few factors at play there. Yellow car is in the shop right now,
Oh, okay.
which we could talk about. In fact, it didn't even occur to me. Of course, we should talk about that. Yellow car's in the
Yeah,
shop
what's
right
up with
now.
yellow car?
Nothing wrong. Just I mean, nothing dire. Just a little suspension refresh. There was a little bit of movement lately, and just some other things. So I told Marco about it the other day, and he was able to get us in this week. And we went
Cool.
for a drive. The moment I pulled in, he's like, "Let's go for a drive." I was like, "Shit, all right, man, awesome." And we just tooled around the area a little bit, and he kind of felt what I meant. And he was like, "All right, well, leave it with me." I'm like, "All right." Huge thanks to Totes McGold for coming and getting me. He was my Uber the other day. Saved me from having to Uber, which I was. I sent him a
Nice.
text. I was like, "Hey, any chance you're going near TLJ today, or do you want to? Because I have to drop it off and take an Uber, and I'm not really looking forward to it."
Yeah, exactly. It's probably just bushings or something, I would imagine, in the
I
suspension
think he's
somewhere, right?
doing a number of those things. He said, "This is why I absolutely love this man and this shop, and I don't think he's this way with everybody. So don't judge him or anything like that. But this is how we deal, which is he knows how to deal with my little Rain Man brain."
Yeah.
He literally texts me. He's like, "I'm putting some suspension parts in your car."
That's awesome. That's all you need to know, Jay. That's
Yeah, he's
it.
like, "There's one other bushing I can't replace. We'll need to address it at some point." He's like, "I'm going to measure it when the suspension's apart." Blah blah blah. He's like, "It needs to be aligned."
Cool.
He goes, "I'll handle it." It's like all this stuff. He's just. I just love that shop. He, Steve, and everybody over there is just. It's a family. It's been a family-owned business for since it's been incepted, you know. And even though his dad is no longer with us and his mom is not part of the business anymore, it is still a family-run business. His buddy Steve, the other like his number two, I guess, they've been like friends since childhood.
Wow, that's really
So
cool.
it is like it's a family over there when you walk in. They're all like brothers, you
That's
know.
cool. That's awesome.
So you know, hey, get your Porsche if your Porsche needs anything. Gosh, you need a place to take it, or if you're just looking for shops, curious at all, get your Porsche some TLC. Come on home to TLG Auto. Go see Marco. I just love that guy so much. So yeah. So Yellow Car's just being sort of given a little love over there. It's on the hoist now. I think you're right. Probably bushings. He mentioned
Okay.
something about like control arms or something like that. I don't know if it needs them or if it maybe will. I don't know. I'm sure he's looking at it, and whenever we get it back, it'll be ready for the
Good as
mountain.
new.
Will that be Friday or
Awesome.
not? I don't know. I told him I don't care. I was like, I appreciate your time. Just whatever it is, don't
Yeah.
worry about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. You don't want to rush anyway, you know. You want to just make sure it's going to be good. And hey, take your time with it, you know.
yeah. Also, if you saw my post the other day on my story yesterday from dropping it off, like if you look at the other cars that are in there right now, Yellow Car may not be the priority.
Yeah.
And yet he treats it equally with all of the others. So I mean that's another
Yeah.
thing that just
That's
warms my
really
heart.
cool.
And he's like that with everybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's something that's worth, you know, $1 million or if it's something that's new that may be worth a couple $100,000 but hasn't even been serviced by Porsche yet. He looks at it all.
That's
And they have all the
cool. That's
computers and
cool.
stuff. I kind of always thought he did the older cars, and I was educated on that recently. That like, no, they've got the scopes and everything for the new cars too. In fact, they do servicing even.
Wow. That's neat.
Buddy, I feel like I'm doing all the talking. Let's switch the stuff around to you. Oh, and then yes, we'll try to go up on Friday, of course.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'm sure it's all going to depend on what's going on with the fire, obviously. So,
Well, yeah, that's what I kind of didn't want to say. I'm going to play this one real quick, just again, this little panning shot right here.
ugh. I mean, you can almost taste the smoke just looking at that video. Ugh. There's
Well,
that
that's what I was
weird
going to
sun
say.
again.
So at this point, they told us it was 2 miles up was where the fire was at that point.
Okay. Where do you think it's at now? Do you think it's already back to where you guys were at?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. As I understand it, and I have not seen this firsthand, so I don't know. But as I understand it, that whole area that I just showed you has been burned. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, the road's still
Jeez.
there, but the fire has. Apparently,
Ugh.
that was a crossing area where it did get to, came up, and gone over. I don't know that for a fact, but where they were telling us where it was, right by 9 Mile, it's either right there or it's the one just east of 9 Mile. Just west of 9 Mile, and when we say 9 Mile, by the way, that's a nickname. It's actually Upper Big Tahunga. When you hear people
Mhm.
say Upper Big Tahunga, that's a lot to
Mhm.
remember, especially with so many other Tahangas and everything. So there are nicknames for all the different roads and switchbacks and stuff back there.
Gotcha. Ugh.
Anyway, so yeah, so we'll see. I don't know.
That
I mean,
first
it is a
drive to
forest. It's all
Newcomb's is.
burned before many times, and it has come
Oh
back
yeah. Oh
many,
yeah.
many
That.
times, and it will continue to. In fact, the drive there, you are constantly looking. You're going through patches of like, oh, that burned, last year, or that burned 5 years ago. You
Yep.
can tell.
Yep. Well, you probably can't even tell, like on your drive to Malibu now, what it looked like whenever I was out there after the Woolsey fire or whatever.
No, you
Like,
really can't. You
it's
really
crazy
can't.
how fast it all grows back, you know?
Yeah, and both growing back and then both how resilient the community was out there. Because they,
Yeah.
they rebuilt so quickly and they are rebuilding still so quickly. You don't see yeah, all the foliage is back. In fact, the CHP did a beautiful little video the other day. Shout out to CHP West Valley. They did a beautiful little video the other day that they put on their Instagram. I don't want to pull it up right now, but it showed the snake, the Mulholland snake that's been closed since that fire.
Hmm.
And it basically was a little video detailing like why they closed it and what it looks like now, and here's why. And it's lush and it's green and it's beautiful. And given a little bit of time, it will strengthen and take a stronghold, and all of that will become stable again.
That's good. Is that where the rock store's at?
Yeah, the rock store is just at the bottom of it.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. It's crazy.
You've been over there a million times, right?
I have, yeah. I have, yeah. I imagine the rock store's probably weathered a few firestorms in its day,
Well,
seeing
that
as
was
how old
one.
it
I mean,
is. You know.
the 2019 or 18, whatever that was, the Woolsey fire. The
Yeah,
trailer park across the street, not
gone.
completely, but a tremendous amount of it leveled.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah. I guess that's what
buddy.
happens when you make your restaurant out of stone.
Yeah,
Tends to.
three little piggies, right?
It
Totally.
is. It is. Yeah, that's wild.
Let us check in with Tori over here. It's been 20 minutes of Jay Ryan talking about the weather. Let us check in with Tori and what's going on with the bug hunt, buddy. I don't have a card for it or anything, but it's becoming a new segment on the show.
I know. Yeah, it's been an up and down last few days. I thought I had the car finally. It was like this really cool. It was a turquoise and pink, like total 80s looking, graphic scheme. It was on a lot in that outside
All
of
right.
Nashville, somewhere in
This
Tennessee.
first of all, this sounds amazing. But let me forgive me for jumping in. Let me catch people up. If I recall, what do we have? Let's see. I think I've got pictures of this stuff here. I think.
Oh yeah, we
Oh
got
no, you
lots
know
to
what? I've got
talk
them up
about.
here.
There's
What's
been
that?
a lot of developments.
Oh, okay. But well, should I even catch them up, or does it matter?
You can catch them up. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
In case you haven't been, I think I've got this here. Maybe I don't. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this won't work at all. Doesn't that figure? You get everything ready. Uh, we'll do it a different way. I'm gonna zoom in over here like this, and it won't be ideal, but it's gonna work. Okay. When we first checked in with Tori, he's been looking at old bugs. We've been looking at stuff like this. And the first week, I think that's kind of what you said. It was more of like you were breaking the ice with us. You were saying, "This is what I'm thinking about." I think maybe the
Yep.
second week or the third week, you put out this this ad, wanting to buy a project 80s custom, looking for a survivor, 80s custom bug project. Post up what you've got available. This is an example of what I'm looking for. Outdated mods like one piece windows, louvers, or graphics, a plus. You got a response from someone who owns that literal car.
That exact car.
You
Yeah.
also were looking at this one,
Oh
which I
gosh.
was calling the
Yeah.
bowing Herbie.
Yeah.
Is this the one you
That's
just
yeah,
mentioned
that's
right now?
no, no. So, I don't even think I've sent you a picture of this other one, but so okay. So a lot of developments. So if you go back to the yellow car with the bikini girl, okay, that's the car that
Yeah.
I really, really wanted. And I've been, talking to this shop owner or whatever. Well, he's now blocked my number. He's
What?
not even accepting my calls anymore. Yeah, yeah. So I can kiss that car goodbye.
Oh,
That's
this was the one with the shop was the middleman between the owner and
Yeah, the
you.
shop was basically the liaison between the owner, but we have a theory that maybe the shop owner actually does own the car, just doesn't want to sell it and doesn't want people to know that he owns it, or I don't know. There's some weird thing going on there. So he blocked my number. Like I was supposed to, he said I could call him back on Monday, because I had made him a pretty generous offer on Friday, and I was like, look, if you can get a hold of him over the weekend, that'd be great. I've got some other cars I'm looking at. I'd like an answer either way, yes or no. So when I tried to call back on Monday, he'd already blocked my number. So that
Good
one's out.
grief. How do you know when
Yeah,
somebody blocks your number? Does it how do you know? Does it go like does
it
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 ring a
just
certain
does.
way or something?
No, it just wouldn't even do anything. And then I had another friend call, and it rang for him. So and I tried
Oh,
it a
that's
couple
a
times. So
bummer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's not having it from me anymore. Yeah, so that one's done. The blue car that I found with the wanted ad that I actually got the guy that, he messaged me and was like, I have this exact car. He sent me more pictures of it, super rusty. I just don't want to put the money into it. That
This one
car,
that's on
yeah,
the shelf, right? That's been sitting.
I love that one because it's got like really cool centerline wheels that are hard to find and all the louvers, and that's a cool car, but like it's super, super rusty. Like the
Wow, it
tail
doesn't
light
look it.
housings are even rusting out. Yeah, it's like in that picture it looks good, but then he sent me more pictures of it, and I was like, I can find something better.
That's
So
funny
then,
because when we talked about it, I was like, you said that one runs, and I was like, well, it ran when you put it up there. That was
yeah,
decades ago.
yeah,
Look at everything
yeah,
around it.
yeah. But with a Volkswagen, you can typically like if something ran 5 years ago and it's stored inside, you can typically get it running again like in 30 minutes. A
Yeah,
fresh
that's a good
battery and
point, and you
gas,
know how to do
you're
that.
good.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh yeah,
point.
that's not hard. So anyways, so those are out. So then I had this turquoise and pink bug that I found on Facebook that was supposedly like according to the ad, it was awesome. I mean, that's every ad though. And I kept asking for pictures of like certain areas. Like he said, it was a California car, but it has like a little bit of rust. And I'm like, okay, well, what's a little bit of rust? Like that's
Should I show
subjective.
this?
Like, like what you think could be a little bit of rust, I could think is a lot of rust. I was like, so can you give me pictures? And he never would give me pictures. I'm like, all right, that's a red flag. So
Can't be
I
good.
had a friend. This was my plan. This is what I was going to do. I had a friend that's also on Facebook that I told him to message the guy and ask him for the same photos like the day after, act like he was interested. And for whatever reason, the guy did send him those pictures, and it was all Bondo, like what I kind of assumed was going to be the problem, because he wouldn't send me those pictures. He knew I was interested, so that
Do,
car's out. I was
is
like,
that what are these the pictures I have here?
no, no, no.
Oh,
So the
okay.
pictures that I sent you today are probably going to be the end of the search. I think this is the
Oh
one.
man, good.
So you can
Well, you said
put
blue
these
and
up.
pink, so I have something here that looks
I know.
blue and
That's
pink.
cool. Yeah, this has got some pink on it, so that's kind of cool.
Should I
So
pull it up?
this morning, yeah, you can put them up. So this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for one more time. I'm gonna put a Facebook wanted ad up on this page, and I just said, basically the same thing. I was like, look, I want an '80s style bug, that's got some cool, like a cool story or cool history, and if it's pink or whatever, I don't care. Like, so like within 10 minutes, this guy texted me and he's like, I have a car you might be interested in. He was like, it's a 64 and it's got lettering on the deck lid from a shop. Originally, we thought it was a shop that was called Johnny's Speed and Chrome, which was a big Volkswagen shop back in the day. But then I asked him, I was like, look, it says Johnny's High Performance on the deck lid, and under the High Performance, it actually says Southgate, California. So, like,
Oh, that's John
you know
Benton
where Southgate's
territory.
at. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's where
So,
John Benton is.
in Southgate,
Well, that's where isn't that where he grew up or something? I think that's where yeah,
could
he
be.
lived.
He
It's
may
that.
even
It's
know the
definitely that
shop.
area, Downey.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, it's kind of in between Compton and like East LA. It's like
Yeah,
the middle ground there. And so apparently back
I'm
in the
pretty sure
day,
all those John
Southgate,
Benton stories of him raising hell when he was a kid. I'm pretty sure those were taking place in Southgate. I think
that's awesome. Well, he may know this shop. So
he may
apparently
know
this
this car. Is
Johnny's,
my point. He may know this car.
he could, yeah, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I should shoot him a message or whatever.
I would if
Um,
you become serious about this car, I would definitely shoot him a message just because you know him and you know our community and he's been in it forever.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I forgot that's where that's his stomping grounds. I definitely need to touch base with him. But anyway, so the guy's gonna send me the rest of the pictures tonight. Those were the only pictures he had on his phone. He's at work and he should be getting off here about, I don't know, 9 or 9:15, hopefully.
This
And
looks
he's gonna
also
shoot me the
like
rest.
interior stored, right? That looks like inside someplace with like a bookshelf in the
Yeah, he
back and
said the
stuff.
car is like super clean. He said obviously the paint's like oxidized, which I can bring all that back. It runs, drives like super fair price. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna haggle with you. Like this sounds like exactly what I've been after, and it's
Is that original paint?
de-chromed. No, no, it's been repainted. So
What
yeah,
color is
car
that?
was originally white.
Oh, okay.
But
Is that it's not Gulf blue? Is it like a different?
no, it's like an aftermarket paint blue. Like it's some custom color, I think. But so I don't know if the car was sponsored by this shop. I don't know if it raced. He said that it's got, and he didn't. I don't think he knows about like how the Volkswagens used to be like modified back in the day. But he said in the firewall there, he said it looks like there's access holes cut in the firewall, and typically that means that the car had 48 IDA Webers on it, which were like a really popular like drag racing carburetor because you would
Sure.
tune them from under the fender basically because it's really hard to get to the mixture screws on those things because it's real tight in there.
Oh,
So
no
people
kidding.
would
So
cut
they'd
these
read
little
through the
access
wheel well.
doors. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
and
that's funny.
so that's what this car has. So right now it's just got like a 1600 dual port in it, but I mean running driving car. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Did you
So
say where it is now? Where it currently is?
now it's in Simi Valley,
Oh,
but
so it's
he
out
had bought
here.
it. Yeah, yeah, it's out there. Yeah.
Well, let me know if you want me to go look at it or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
So I
what
thought
to
that was
look at,
cool.
but you could tell me what to look for. I mean, I know how to drive an old Beetle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy has bugs, so I mean, he seems like a really, really nice guy. Like we chatted back and forth quite a bit today, while he was at work, and he told me he's like, I've come close to making it into a Baja a couple times, but I just have the heart to cut it up. I was like, oh, thank God for that. And he was like, really needs someone that like is into history and wants to preserve it and kind of do the detective work on what the car, where it was at, where it came from, like its street racing past. I was like, done. You got the right guy.
It's
So
literally what you want to do.
It's exactly what I mean. It ticks
Yeah,
every
you
box.
want to spit shine this car. You don't want to change it, repaint it, anything. You want to preserve
Exactly.
everything that's there.
Yep. Including
Yeah.
that little sticker that's on the quarter window. Like I love that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I think the search has come to an end, my friend. So hopefully I get those
Wow.
pictures tonight and I can lock something down. And
So
I've
you've
already
got a
what?
guy who's sending you pictures, and you've got a car that you're willing to pull the trigger on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is the one. I dare say. But I love that sticker. So like, it's almost like the car was like the shop mascot or something, because that's the car like on the sticker. Looks like it's the same color, blue and everything. So
Tell me
that's
what
gotta
else
be
is
it.
funny is back in the day, the where we go to. I hate to keep bringing Benton into this, but where we go to breakfast all the time, it used to be Johnny's Broiler. It's a Bob's Big Boy now, but it's a
Oh
historic
yeah,
building. It's the one from License to Drive, and it's been in Mad Men,
yeah.
and I
I
mean
know.
everything.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
was
yeah,
Archie's Atomic and License to Drive.
yeah.
So I go with Benton all the time to Johnny's, and that's been in his life since he's been alive. So I mean, there's a lot of coincidences going on here. Like I don't know. You know what I
That's
mean? He
cool.
was a bug guy. He was a bug guy his whole life.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna hit him up as soon as we get off this. Honestly, like he may know.
I think that's smart. I think it would be really cool if you could actually, I mean, if you could trace a little bit of history back after you
Oh,
get it,
wouldn't
of
that be
course. But
awesome?
like, you know what I
That'd
mean?
be
If somebody's
cool.
got pictures or whatever from back in the day, that's what for me.
Yeah.
That's what. It's way
Yep.
more than a high price tag for me. Way more valuable than a
Yes.
high dollar sign.
Yeah, exactly. I actually talked about that on that Volkswagen podcast I did. He was like, "What kind of cars are you into?" Blah blah blah. I was like, honestly, my tastes are all over the place, but I like a good story. Like that's what always sells me on a car. If there's a good story behind it, that's what I'm into more than condition, whatever else.
Can you tell us how that went? Because I've been dying to hear how. Let's talk Dubs, right? Let's talk
Yeah,
Dubs.
dude.
How did it
Yeah,
go?
yeah. His name is Bill. And man, it was really cool. So this is kind of a crazy story too. It went really well. Fantastic talk. I've gotten a lot of really good reception from people that listen to it or whatever. And I was like, oh, it was cool to hear your stories, and I totally understand why you got out of the Herbie world now, because I talked about that. And we talked a little bit about doing the Bug movie and some stories behind the scenes there. And but what was cool is we were talking about like our favorite magazine cars from the 80s and 90s, because he's like me. He's around our age and he grew up on those magazines and all those show cars. And he was like, there's one car that for me is just the car, and it was this red like chop top Beetle rag top with these really rare BRM wheels that were like color coded red. And I had just been talking about that car with a friend who told me that the car was for sale. It's not advertised, but it's for sale. And so I
That
told
actual
Bill
car.
that exact car. And I told Bill, I was like, well, that car is for sale. And he was like, no way, get out of here. He's like, that's my car. I was like, yeah, I heard it's on the market. It's not being advertised, but yeah, the car can definitely be had. So I put him in touch with the guy that knows the owner, and he bought the car like yesterday. He's
Oh
going
my
to pick it up
gosh.
next week. Yeah, so it's like his dream car that he got. So I was like, "See, there you go. Aren't you glad you did the podcast with me? Because
That's
you got your dream car."
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
pretty neat. So,
amazing. That's so great, man. Congrats to
yep,
both of you.
yeah, and that car's been on the cover of a lot of like VW magazines over the years. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But Bill lives in Vegas. The guy that does the Let's Talk Dubs podcast, he's out of Las Vegas. He knows the Dare Fascination guys, and like it's a
Oh, that's
super
cool.
small. Yeah, and apparently he's the car appraiser for like what is that?
Pawn Stars?
Pawn Stars?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so anytime there's something with a car, like when I think there was an episode where they brought Suge Knight's BMW in
Oh
that
my gosh.
Tupac got killed in.
Oh
Like
my
super
lord.
bad juju with that one, but yeah, he was on that episode too and appraised that car. So
I used to know,
crazy
I
stuff.
still know, I just haven't, I'm not in that world anymore, but I used to know, you might know him too, actually, come to think of it. But the guy who was their Hollywood memorabilia guy, like to authenticate
Oh
wardrobe and
yeah,
props and
okay.
stuff like that
Right.
for the Pawn Stars.
Cool stuff. Yep. Yeah, it's funny.
Well,
So
that's good. I'm glad you had a good time. How long? I haven't had a chance to listen to it
oh
yet, but I
dude.
put it in the queue on the TV, on the
Uh-huh.
Apple TV podcast, which I've learned is a new trick that sort of tricks me. Then I can have it on through my usual whatever.
There
Anyway,
you
I'm
go.
gonna listen to it hopefully tomorrow. How long was it? Like, what was the format? Did it have video? Were you doing it like, were you on your setup where you're sitting right now, or was it just over the phone, or how'd you do it?
Yeah, I was on my setup that I'm doing now. We actually did Skype. He uses Skype for some of his stuff, but
Sure.
he loved that I had like a real microphone and because a lot of times people will just call in and they're like on their speakerphone and hear like other calls like ringing in and so
I'm
a lot
sure
of
you
people are
can
like,
compare your setup on this show versus other people we do who just have a laptop. It's huge. Having you have a mic and headphones is massive.
yeah, he was very appreciative of my setup. He said that was really nice. I think we went for like 2 hours and then another hour after he
Oh,
pressed the stop button. So
wow. So you
yeah,
guys definitely hit it off.
yeah, we geeked out. Yeah, well,
Good.
a lot of it
Those are
too
the
was
best episodes
because
to listen to, though, because you can really feel the energy of people jiving.
we had fun, and I mean we had a lot in common with the Volkswagen world. Like the first hour is me just talking about like the Herbie world and kind of the weirdness that goes on with all that and why I got out of it, and then we kind of got into other stuff like well definitely the Bug movie and then like just different Volkswagens I've owned over the years. And then we kind of got into the 80s and 90s, our search for these cars because he's kind of on the same search, but now it's over because he found his dream car. And then we ended with me telling the story of me getting my mom's old Bug back, which was cool. So a lot of people really love that story, and I went into a lot of detail. Like I've kind of given the cliff notes usually, but that's like the whole story. So
Had he not seen the Bug documentary? Because don't you talk
yeah,
about
he
getting
had.
your mom's? Oh, okay. But don't you talk about
Yeah,
getting
he
your
had.
mom's?
No,
Or
because I got that right after we wrapped. So I
wait,
that wasn't in
so
there.
I heard that story when you were here on the show. Then when I
Yeah,
first met you.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
not in
my
the Bug movie. I
gosh.
refer to the car, but the car that I had kind of like gotten to replace that Bug was the one that had 19,000 miles on it. So it was like
Right.
at the time I was like, oh, this is I guess as good as it's gonna get. And I even show pictures of me with the white car, but I hadn't gotten it yet. It's crazy.
That's
So
crazy. I had put the timing was off in my head. Oh,
yeah,
buddy, that's
no,
cool.
because
Well,
I
that
told the
that movie
story.
needs a little addendum then. That movie needs a little
Yeah,
epilogue.
I know. That was such a shame because that would have made such a cool, but it almost would have been. I don't want to say it would have been too emotional, but like we wanted the emotion to be with the car that gets fixed up through the course of the film, and this would have almost
Yeah.
kind of overshadowed that a little bit. It needs to be its own thing, maybe. So I don't
I
know. We'll
don't
see what
disagree with
happens.
you there. It's a little too big to just be a throwaway C story.
Yeah, yeah. So
Did you know, speaking of which, Spike Ferriston and Zuckerman were on the Smoking Tires podcast? They recorded it last week, but it went up today.
I did know that. Yeah, I saw the stuff about it. I haven't listened to it yet.
Did you know that Spike's taxi is a Mexican taxi that then went to go? Not a Mexican taxi. It was a Mexican
Police car?
bug. Then went to wherever it went to become a police car. He
No,
said on the show it was a Mexican bug that got sent somewhere to become whatever
was
we
it?
know it as
Because
today.
typically the German police cars were actually still German built Beetles, but if it's
I
depends on
don't
how
know,
new it is.
but that's a thing. You know about this stuff. I'm curious. Would you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll watch it at some point. I'm curious
Oh
to
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
once you watch it
Yeah,
if
I'll
you can
check it
tell me
out.
what about that.
Yeah,
And then
I will. I will.
well, I should just tell you, Spike's going to be here on Thursday. He's going to be a guest on
What?
Thursday. Yeah,
No way. That's
yeah, he's going to
awesome.
be our guest on for Thursday this week.
That's so cool.
It is. It's really cool. It's great.
That's
I'm so excited he's willing to do it.
that's good for Spike. That's awesome. Well, I cannot wait to hear you guys talk about Letterman. That's going to be amazing because you guys will have so much in common with the whole Letterman stuff and like it seems like your paths have kind of like crossed at so many junctures in your life.
But you
But
know why they didn't? Because I was a wallflower back then. I was solely
yeah.
collecting information. I was just bopping around, floating in life, and I wasn't like on a real hardcore path. I've been thinking about this lately, because especially because he is coming here.
Yeah.
Like, and also we weren't ever actually at the same place at any of those times, but we do know a lot of the same people. So that will probably be interesting.
It's going to make for a very interesting conversation because I guarantee you any name he throws out, you're going to know and you've worked with the same people. So it's going
Probably,
to be
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
probably.
guarantee it. It's going to be
What?
cool.
It's funny because I sent him like a proper pitch of like, look, I'd like to talk, certainly in these areas, whatever. And it was, and after I'd listed like the 5 things that kind of like I want to know about or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized I was like, oh, and of course cars and anything else you want. I realized I want to know about like Letterman, his 30 Rock time. I want to know about obviously Seinfeld. I want to know about Car Matchmaker. I want to know, like all the stuff, all the different things.
Yeah.
There was other
Yeah.
things that I can't remember right now, but
Well, and I'd like to know about like Hangar 56 Media now.
oh
Like,
yeah,
what
what
is
he's
he?
doing.
What
Yes,
kind of stuff is he
absolutely.
doing now? Like, I know that he did the show that for Disney Plus with Justin Long because he talked about it on one of his shows. Like,
You
it's
told me
cool that he
about that.
pitches shows like that. So I like hearing about
Well,
like what are you up
it's
to now?
pitching shows is easy. Getting shows sold and on the air is
Right,
not
right.
easy.
Quite another thing.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah. I've pitched a
that's
lot of
awesome.
shows. Anyway, yeah. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be.
Dude, congratulations. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you. That's really good news.
It'll
Awesome.
be. It'll be at least for now. It'll be a Zoom one for now, like like we're doing right now,
Yeah.
because he's got the
Yeah.
same home set up there too. I think.
Yeah, I think he's got a
Um.
decent little studio going on at his place. So, yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. I will. Should we just? You know what? Let me
You got
first
some
do
viewer
this.
mail?
Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder. I do have to do viewer mail, but before that, I want to let you know that one of the nice things about having these masks driving around in the fires was like you have to wash it every single time if you don't do that anyway because it's kind of gross after the fire, but it's totally helpful. Like I don't think this would.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure this doesn't keep like every single particle out, but you definitely notice a difference when you're driving around up there versus not. So anyway, if you're in a part of the world and you see somebody that should be wearing a mask and they're not, you could say to them, "Hey, need a mask? ShopHunziker.com." That's what we did. And I love my Hunziker masks. I have been. Did you say that you have a bunch and you've been switching it up lately? You put them in
Yeah,
different
well,
cars and
I
stuff.
just put I put one in each car. So,
Yeah, that was
like
so smart.
the 3 or 4 cars I have in rotation right now, I just hop in it and I know I've got a mask. So, it's nice. Yeah.
I did a similar thing like you. I put one in the car pocket, the Pasha one, then I keep this one in like my
Yep.
sweatshirt pocket, and I have another one somewhere else.
Exactly. Yep.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
The
so
only thing
you're
though with
always
that is
covered.
I thought I lost this one. I was like trying to think of like, well, how to send Hunziker. I didn't want to wait for like the mail and everything. I was like, well, can I come down and see one? Luckily, it was in my sweatshirt pocket, ready to
There
be
you go.
washed,
Right where you left it.
right where I left it. That's exactly right. All right, so this is a tub that comes to us all the way from down under Australia. Ron Goodman, our good friend Ron Goodman,
Nice.
and I opened it. Well, actually, no, I didn't open this part. Hang on. Oh, that's cute. Way to preserve. Boy, if they had these when we were kids, man, to protect all your posters, just a
Right?
little
I
foam
know.
puck.
The Aussies have figured it out, man.
Man, when we were kids, our poster corners were dented.
But they were. It's true.
They
Like still to
totally
this day,
were.
when I order something on YouTube or wherever that's rolled up,
Bro,
it
try to
always
get it
comes
home from
beamed up.
Spencer's Gifts in the mall in the car ride. Like it was always.
Oh, oh yeah, so true.
All
Spencer's.
right.
It's
So what we
funny.
have here is a nice
Oh, that's cool.
poster, vintage ratio. That's the Flying 356, the 23 356 from Goodman Racing down there. And it's a really cool poster. It's numbered. This is 4 of 23. There are only 23 of these. Forgive the way I'm holding it. It will look much nicer in a frame. Number 4 of 23. This is a giveaway. I haven't figured out what to do yet, buddy. Maybe you can either tell me what to do, or I figured we'd figure it out. And then I don't know if I have to do a game. Is this annoying? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we'll figure something out and then you give it away on Thursday.
And I give it away on Thursday on the Spike Show. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And with that, if anybody wants, and we'll put some of these in the win grab bag as well. But if anybody wants any of these stickers, there's a bunch of stickers of the same thing that are very cool. And then my personal favorite, these were made for the race car. For when we listen to me, when we Team Goodman and the supporters like myself were running the Bathurst race down
That's
there
awesome.
in Australia.
Very cool.
Bathurst 2020, Mount Panorama Circuit. So anyway, we got a bunch of those too. If anybody wants one of those, either hit us up or win this on Thursday, and I'll throw them in there. Whatever.
Sweet.
Good stuff. And just what a guy. He's I don't know how to describe him. He's such a gentleman from a place where I expect Crocodile Dundee. You know, and I
Wrestling
don't mean that
alligators
literally,
and
but I mean I expect somebody more gruff than lovable, and he's very
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
lovable.
Duking it out with kangaroos and stuff.
Do you remember? It was during that race they were having their fires there last year, or
Oh yeah,
earlier
it was
this year, whatever it
crazy.
was, and it
Yeah,
was
that was
just
sad.
awful. And we were getting their
Yeah,
smoke. You remember?
I remember.
Do you remember his postings for all the charity things they were doing with the
Yeah,
the saving
they
the
did a lot.
kangaroos scurrying
Oh
across the
yeah,
track and the koalas and everything?
it was so sad. Like they
Big
had
heart
like
in that, Ron
pictures.
Goodman.
Yeah, they had like pictures of them like rehabbing koala bears and wombats that were burned up. Oh,
You do
so sad.
remember, and
Yeah, oh, I remember
it
that.
may as well
Yeah,
have had Sarah McLachlan and Willie Nelson in
yeah,
the
oh
background
yeah,
singing their songs for the ASPCA.
yeah. That's where I have to turn the channel. It's just so sad. I can't with animals, especially when it's not their fault. They didn't even do anything to deserve it. It's
No,
crappy.
yeah. Well, that's what I was saying before too, and it brings me back to like even Bambi, the movie Bambi.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Doesn't the
The fire scene. Yeah,
yeah, the forest fire. You know, the hunter's one thing, but the forest fire is
yeah.
almost scarier to me.
It is.
It's easy to hate a human. What are you going to hate nature? That doesn't.
Yeah,
You're not going to.
right.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, it does not compute.
Yeah, humans can be easy to hate, especially in movies when they're characterized. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. We'll talk about St. Clair Insurance at the end, but in the meantime, coverageforyourtoys.com. I'll just say that. Buddy, I put it in the thing as what we talk about, and I think it's funny that it'll be the last thing. Maybe it's good that we saved it because we might go long.
Yeah, because we're gonna totally geek out on this, man. Like, all right.
I don't know where to begin, but let's talk about, well, first of all, what we've been watching. What you watching? For me this week, of course, it has been Cobra Kai. I'm caught up with you, buddy. You told me to
Good.
stick with it. I didn't stick with it. I went back. We bailed out on episode 3, I think I told you. And then I
Right.
went back, and I didn't like episode 4. And
Okay.
I didn't like. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it. I was in the same position of all right. I'm still going with this, but I find no
Yeah.
redeeming
Still not
qualities. It's
feeling it.
more of the. It's a fourth of the first 3, is how I
Right.
felt. And then by the end of episode 5, I don't even remember what happened to this point. I meant to take notes. I was in. I was in. Maybe not for the whole 20, but I was in for the ride. I was like, okay, all right.
Okay.
I was excited to press 6 and have it ready queued
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember what the hell happened, but it was something. You know me, I like more when when the team bands together versus tearing apart. So it was like there was a little bit of a 80s fuck yeah moment. Oops, excuse me.
Yeah.
But you know those 80s, it was a little bit of that,
Yeah.
and it
Of
wasn't
course.
so in your face. Somewhere around episode 7 or so, I cracked the code of what's going on with that show.
Okay.
I told you what it is for me. Cobra Kai is the OC. It's the Karate Kid OC edition, or it's the OC Karate Kid edition. It really, really is. And then when I said that to you, it was like 5 or 6 episodes before it literally became the
It
OC
really got
storyline.
OC. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I didn't want to say anything because you weren't
I
there yet,
couldn't
but I was
believe
like,
it.
yeah, I'm thinking, man,
I
if you
went and
think
checked
that
the
now,
writers. I was like, this has got to be J.J. Philbin or Alan Heinberg or something. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
parallel stories like in a number of different ways and episodes, but it did become more fun. It did become
Yeah.
fun, and I did enjoy the ride uh,
Good.
by the end. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically? Because like I know I would text you funny lines.
Well,
What's
I
your
just
favorite
love
part of it?
Johnny. I
What's
mean,
your favorite part of the series? It can be a part, or it can
Johnny.
be like you know whatever.
Oh, I think like most people, it's just Johnny being stuck in the '80s. Like that
Dude,
to
me
me, like
too.
that's like the best part because he just like he's so grumpy about the way things are now, and like I mean, he's still trying to be that. Did you ever see Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, of course.
is kind of like Uncle Rico, who just like he can't get over the fact that like his coach never put him in for that big game, and his
100%.
life is like peaked in his senior year in high school, and he's just never been able to get over it. And like when he's trying to like do online dating and like, oh my god, it's freaking hilarious. Like just it's yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's everyone's favorite takeaway from the series. It's definitely not Daniel LaRusso. Like, I mean, he's just this boring car dealer, but like Johnny is just awesome. Like you get this like is there's good in Johnny, and when his sensei comes back and he's being a dick to everybody, he's like, look, this isn't the way, and like so maybe Johnny's not such an asshole after all, and
Well,
like it
here's the thing. They're telling us the story. Johnny and Daniel are the same guy. They're beating us
yeah,
over the head with it. We just
yeah.
simply saw the first story from Daniel's perspective. When Johnny
Yes.
tells the story, he's like, "I was minding my own business on the beach," which
Yeah,
in
exactly.
his mind, he was. Daniel wasn't even in existence.
Yeah.
In his
Yeah,
mind, it's me in my town with my friends and my girl and blah blah blah. And I didn't even notice
exactly.
there was somebody I don't recognize until hey,
Yeah.
started some shit. It's really, really kind of funny. And then the hose in the bathroom, I always thought Daniel was being a little dick on that one. Oh, I got to get my
I know.
revenge.
I know. I
So I
know.
think
It's
the lesson on this whole thing is like they are
perspective.
exactly the same. And whenever they
Yeah.
have a drink or two on the show,
Yeah.
they
They're
realize it.
cool.
They realize
Yeah,
it.
they're
Yeah.
totally cool. Yeah, like the Mexican restaurant. Like that was
It's
a
probably
funny
one of the
scene
best
where they're
scenes in the whole show. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I agree. But like
I
seriously
will
by
say,
the end,
yeah.
I would say by the end, like my little goosebump moment, because the whole time I'm waiting for them to play "Cruel Summer" by Bananarama, and I was like, they've like ticked every nostalgic box except this one. So like, when's it coming? And then they play it on the last episode, and I seriously got goosebumps because I have such fond memories of that song and the movie,
Oh,
and
so that
and when
got
they
you. See,
that got me.
I was
Yeah, that
hating the
song
last
got me.
episode so much that by the time it was over, I was kind of pissed off.
Were you?
Yeah, the last episode is a departure episode for the rest of that series. I don't know what the hell anybody was thinking. It was
Yeah.
clearly like a let's get this picked up by somebody, so let's throw everything we've got at it in my opinion, the worst way possible. It was like it was everything that was wrong with the first three episodes for me.
Yeah.
But I know you're talking about the very, very end. We should just tell people there are spoilers all over this thing. It is what it is. I'll put spoiler alert in the thing. You're talking about when the phone rings in the sand, right?
Well, no, I mean, just more,
Oh, isn't that
more,
when the cruel,
more
cruel
than
summer
anything
thing
else,
comes up?
just the song. I just like the song. Like, obviously, like the whole Facebook request thing, and like, I mean, they're not gonna get what's her face to come on and do this.
I disagree with you.
Really? Do you think she'll do it?
I wholeheartedly disagree with you. Yes, absolutely, and they wouldn't have done that if they couldn't.
Interesting. Yeah. Well,
That's my
supposedly the
that's my
third
take. I
season.
was convinced she was going to be in the final episode, but then they did that goddamn Anchorman gang fight instead throughout the high school where they took
Yeah,
over
that
the
was a
whole
little.
high school. That was ridiculous,
That
ridiculous.
was a
Oh,
little
the principal's
ridiculous.
running for
Yeah.
cover. Gee whiz,
That was a little
awful.
ridiculous.
And
Like,
then the
where's the
substitute
resource
teacher comes in
officer?
and kicks the kids' asses. Like, there's so
Yeah.
much. There's so
Yeah.
much in that show. There's a lot of hangling, dangling bullshit too. Like, why did they zoom in on the moment when Johnny is given the kid who is under 18 because he's going to the tournament
Hmm.
an alcoholic beverage? He's like, let's get the good stuff, and then they drink some. That'll put hair on your chest, but he doesn't say chest.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Why do they zoom in and make such a point about it if it's not a thing? Like I thought they were gonna.
Yeah,
I
I know
thought that
that
was
was
gonna
kind of
be.
weird.
Oh, Johnny's gonna lose his dojo license because he's feeding kids
Supplying
drinks, or
to a
you know what I
minor.
mean?
Yeah,
They kind of just
exactly.
drove right over it like it was the 80s, and maybe that's it. It's
Yeah, that was
80s
kind of weird.
rules.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Didn't
I
hate
don't
it. I
know.
mean, I
Well,
went with everything, but I was like, it took me out of a few things because it was like, oh, I have to adjust what we're doing here. Beating up the kids, adults beating up
yeah,
kids is for one.
yeah. Have you Googled anything about season three?
No, I didn't even
Okay,
know it was like, is it happening soon?
season three is already filmed and edited. It's ready to
Oh,
go.
wow. So they're going to give it to us
Yeah,
maybe once the heat off this starts to fade.
yeah, maybe. But it was filmed in Okinawa.
Well, wait a second. This is interesting because can we not shift gears, but can we pivot around? Something you said you wanted to do last week was go back and watch the original Karate Kids. Have you had a chance to do that yet?
No, because I don't have friggin' Showtime. Because now it's
Oh,
not on Netflix anymore. They took it
right.
off of Netflix. It's on
You
Showtime
mentioned
now.
something
So,
about Blu-rays or something else. I wasn't sure, and I also
oh
wasn't
yeah, I haven't
available.
gotten around to buying it yet, but yeah, I need to. But
If there's a way to Dropbox or something, I don't know how to do that stuff, but we have them on our media server here. And
oh, cool.
I watched the second one today in preparation for this show because I remembered not really liking that one as much when I was a kid. And I guess
And that's the
probably
one with the Peter Cetera song I was telling you about,
sure
right?
is.
The
Yeah,
Glory of
sure,
Love.
sure
Yeah.
is. And
Okay, cool.
I, first of all, I was wrong last week when I said he did the Disney songs. That was Peebo Bryson. Totally different guys, similar voice, whatever. But yeah, the Peter Cetera song was in that, and I didn't remember that at all. And I don't mind that song. I don't have any fond or non-fond memories of it, but I certainly don't
Mm-hmm.
plug it in with that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
I remember not liking it as a kid. I think probably because like I saw the original one and I wanted to see that again, but like we had the HBO like that had the second one on. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street
Okay.
2. It was the same thing. I had I had like weird sequel videotapes that I watched and wore out as a kid, but
Right.
like I didn't have the original because it was off of HBO instead of just like a store bought, you know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So it was one of those, and what I learned today was that it's incredibly enjoyable. It's a great movie. I loved it. I like it as much as the first almost. I'm going to say like 90% as much as the first.
Yeah, it was cool because I think you. It's been years since I saw it, but I feel like you get a lot of background on Mr. Miyagi too, right? Don't they like?
You get some. You get some.
Okay.
You don't get as much as you think you're going to get. But yeah, you're right. We go there. I mean, we have to go to Okinawa because Mr. Miyagi's father is ill and is probably going to
Right.
pass.
Right. Right.
But we find out that, oh my gosh, there is this girl from way back when, and there was going to be an arranged marriage, and you know what I mean? And like, oh, she was
Yeah.
supposed to marry his
Yeah.
best
I
friend,
remember
and he
that.
was a karate guy too,
Yeah.
and oh,
Yeah.
my honor, and all the stuff comes out. But the thing
Yeah.
is, it is a
Exactly.
great movie about honor, and it's every bit as much. It's not a sequel. It's not a bullshit sequel. It's not a
No, it's
bullshit
really
sequel. It's
not. It's almost
simply
like
a
a just
turn the page on the first movie.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, I
Yeah.
mean that literally. It picks up the moment Daniel wins the tournament from the first
Yeah.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't remember
Exactly.
that either. And that is where that cut scene comes from where no
That we
sensei and
were
the
talking
guy's
about.
beating him up
Okay.
outside
Yeah.
him. Yeah, because
Okay.
they're literally
Yeah. Yeah.
leaving the auditorium from the All Valley tournament.
Gotcha. I
Um,
remember it being an extremely beautifully shot movie too. Like the locales that they're at were
agreed.
really pretty.
All
Yeah.
Oahu,
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Pretty well. There you
Hawaii.
go. That's why you dig it too, because
But
Hawaii.
I
I
didn't
love.
know that until looking at it today, and I was like, I think
Oh, cool.
yes, this is the Northeast Shore. Where'd you
Wow.
go?
That's so cool. I had to
Oh,
get
look at
Bo.
this.
Yeah, he got some teeth pulled, so he's not doing so hot. Poor
Oh
Bo.
no.
Poor little guy.
Well, he's got a
He'll be
red
all
eye
right.
too. I hope that's the camera.
Yeah, no, it's the reflections. Yeah, he
Oh,
he looks
good.
he looks
He,
kind of
he
evil.
looks like a
With
damn demon.
he does look like a demon. No, his eyes just reflect red for some reason. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he
poor
got
little
some
buddy.
teeth pulled, so his little tongue stays out now. It's sad. Poor little
Did
guy.
he get teeth pulled from because of age related, or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Dachshunds
yeah,
just have really bad teeth, so they like kind of yeah, they just kind of
yeah.
rot. So
That's a
I
bummer.
knew he needed some, but I didn't want to put him under because he's old. So it's like, what do I do? What do I do?
I'm in a
And
maybe you can help me mentally with this. I'm in a similar position right now with Meow Meow. Every couple years because she's old and can't really not every about every year and a half or whatever. I need to take her to the vet to be shaved,
yeah,
basically. Groom,
yeah,
like she gets like a lion cut, like they leave the legs
yeah,
and the
yeah,
tail, but
exactly.
like all of the body that she can't get to, that's all matted and whatever.
Yeah,
And the truth is, I mean, I can say this here because I love my friend at home and you know me and everything. Like, I didn't think she'd make it this long. I have not thought
yeah,
she'd make it this long for like 3 years.
yeah,
So I'm in disbelief every day as a gift. I can't believe it. She's relatively healthy otherwise. Her eyes are watering like crazy now. She's got the old cat stuff, but I also think she's
mm-hmm,
also allergic to her stuff.
mm-hmm,
She's such a lunatic cat with anybody but me and our peaceful surroundings here. I think because of her earlier life and what
mm-hmm.
that was like. Nicole was always away. There were different people coming in feeding her. Nicole said there was a roommate at one point that was potentially I don't want to say abusive, but potentially not nice at
Oh.
all. I don't know, but
Oh.
she used to have a lot of weird skittish, like
Mhm.
ferociously skittish tendencies that she doesn't
Mhm.
anymore now that she experiences
Well,
love.
that's good.
But all this to say, like, I don't want to take her in because they have to put her out for that, and
Yeah.
like she's not gonna make. Like I'm in the catch 22 of like she's not as comfortable as she could be right now, which
Yeah.
breaks my heart. She will
Yeah.
not let you do it with the things. I do it as much as I can, and she won't have it.
Not
She needs
having
to.
it.
No, she needs to go out.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I don't know. I mean, did you weigh those options when they said, "Oh, her teeth aren't looking good"? Did you think about that
Yeah, but
stuff?
yeah, so no, it's a boy, Bo.
Oh, sorry.
So no, 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 it's all good. So yeah, I went there and I was like, look, I know his teeth are like not in the best of shape. Like I brush him, I do everything I'm supposed to do. Like he has these
Right,
chews that he likes, but you just reach a point where it's like, look, his teeth are just they're not good. Like you just got to pull them.
right.
And that was always my thing. I was like, well, he's God. I'd never be able to forgive myself if he died while he was under anesthesia because I brought him in because I wanted to get his teeth taken care of. And so they can do like blood work and stuff, but I mean, if an animal is so old, they'll just refuse to put him under. And they checked him out and they said, "Look, we think he's going to be fine." I paid extra to have an IV put in him just in case like something goes bad, then they can get drugs right into
So
him
the
to
fluids can
revive
go
him.
right in. Sure,
Yeah, so I did
that's
all that
smart.
and he was fine, dude. He's bounced back. I mean, I haven't even said, but he had 16 teeth removed. Dogs have 42, so I mean, he's still got a bunch left, but he had 16 teeth pulled. So I mean, he looks like a little
In
old
the
man.
back, in the front, all over the
No, in the
place.
front. Yeah, he has like
Oh,
no
poor
teeth
little
in the
buddy.
front anymore. It's sad. He looks like an old man now. It's so sad.
So that's why his tongue's
But
hanging out because the
yeah,
things
that's
aren't.
yeah. There's nothing to keep it
The
in.
structure is different. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he's got all his teeth in his back, so that's what they use to eat. So
is
he's
it?
already adapted. Yeah, yeah, like
So he
he
can't
scoops his
like
food
tug
up.
on the rope and stuff, but he could eat.
Yeah, yeah, he can eat. Like he puts the food in and then like kind of puts it back and then chews in the back of his mouth and swallows and he's fine. So yeah, it's
Wow.
funny. But with Meow Meow, man, I would be hesitant to put her under because
I
she's so
know.
old.
I
Like
know. I
if
have to check with Nicole and figure out when her actual birthday is. She's told me a million times, but I never remember. I know that she was 9 plus, like she was 9 years old when we met,
okay,
and that was over 10 years ago. So I know that she's
wow,
been in her
that's
20th year
insane.
for a while. I just don't. She may be legitimately 20 and in her 21st year now. I don't. I'm not really
Wow,
sure.
that's
She's definitely 20.
amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, dude, if she's that old, I wouldn't chance it. There's no way because you'll never
I know
forgive
that's how I
yourself.
feel too, but she is healthy otherwise.
Well,
And I
then
think
she's fine. Just
no,
let
but
her have
she's
crazy hair.
uncomfortable because of this matted. She looks like old Deuteronomy
Oh,
from
I got
Cats. You
you.
know what I mean? Like she doesn't have
Yeah,
garbage all in it. It's all as clean
yeah,
as it can be. But her own, I mean,
yeah,
imagine not wearing
yeah,
a coat and not washing it for a year.
yeah. Oh, poor
And like I
thing.
can't. She'll the only the only place she's totally fine is her head and her face because both she gets it and she lets me do her eyes and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
she has this stripe down her back that's as wide as it can be, all the way to her
Mm-hmm.
tail, where she lets me, where I'm able to either force her or she lets me keep it clean. So her actual back is okay, but like the sides and like around the back, and she
Oh,
seems to be. Nobody else wants to hear this shit. Nobody. She seems to be able to like use the facilities and stuff, and our
yeah, yeah.
box is
Everything else is
outside.
good.
She goes out on
Yeah,
the patio. She does all that stuff. Everything's fine.
yeah, yeah. Oh, don't do it.
Back to Cobra Kai. Uh, the what's his name? Miguel Diaz.
Yes. Yeah, I like him. I really like
Johnny's
him.
kid. Okay,
Yeah.
Latino Casper Van Dien. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
All
Yes.
day long.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go get
Yeah. It
those
really is.
bugs.
Yeah.
Oh my
yes.
gosh, he
It
is
is. Yeah.
so outrageous.
Yeah. It is.
I
Yeah.
can't
Bro,
stand
I
that
didn't think
character.
about that. Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
figure out, but he's they're all good at doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's just I can't figure out who's in charge over there. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I would be curious to know when the writing switched from YouTube original or YouTube Red to Netflix because I feel like there was a shift
It hasn't
somewhere in
happened
there.
yet, I can tell you that, because consistency, it has been consistently inconsistent.
Oh,
One of
really?
my
So you think
complaints so
it's
far
this
is
is
the writing and the directing are hideously inconsistent.
So
but
it's all YouTube
but
people, you
but
think still?
right, but there it's consistently inconsistent. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
Well, I'm glad you stuck
maybe
with
this
it at
season
least.
3,
Yeah, I think season 3 will be good. I really do.
but
And
maybe
supposedly
that's
it's already been shot, like already edited, already ready to go. But they said they're gonna wait until 2021 to release it.
perhaps
So
that.
who
Well,
knows?
that's not far away at this point.
Yeah, I guess not, huh? Jeez,
Perhaps, although it's a summer sort of a summer show.
it is.
You know,
I
again, back
know.
to the Karate Kid. So I watched the whole second movie, and
Mm-hmm.
they go to Okinawa, and then the whole thing happens, and then they come back, and I really liked it because I forgot what happens and how the enemies
Yeah,
become friends and the friends become enemies. I forgot how that all happened,
yeah.
and I loved it how it did. And then it ends with them in Okinawa, and then I just because it's on the media server, it just one ran into the other when the credits were done. The third one starts with them coming back from the plane. They're getting out of the taxi. So the
Wow. So I
whole
mean,
Karate Kid one
true
through three
story.
is basically like what 1 year, not even.
Wow. I wish Star Wars would have done that instead of jumping all over the place with
How long is
everything.
how long is the first movie? Is the first movie because they move to California, and then he goes to the new school, and he gets into sports, and then he gets beat up, and then he meets the girl. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
happens, but I think it's probably only like maybe half the school year. I don't think it's even a
Yeah,
full
probably
school
like
year.
one semester's worth. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Interesting. Wow.
So
I'm gonna have to watch the second one.
and immediately, like after that, they go to Okinawa, and then they come back, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's the third movie, and it's a whole different deal.
Wow. I gotta watch
Boy,
the
you know
second
what's
one again
funny?
now.
They there's a different love interest in each one, but it's all like they're only days apart. It just occurred to
Right.
me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
Me neither.
yeah.
That's very funny. Even Back to
So
the Future, like it
you
only takes
really think
place
we'll
over
see
one
Elizabeth
week,
Shue?
but
You think we'll
it's all different times.
Yeah, yeah. So you really think we'll see Elizabeth Shue at some point?
I'd be willing to bet on it. And I have no inside information. I just
Right.
my knowledge of how these things work, and
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with a yes or no. It has to do with, oh, that show's hot right now, and
Yeah,
that
that's
show's hotter than
true.
I am right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, what's the last thing Elizabeth Shue did? I mean,
Hollow Man.
wow. Holy shit. Yeah, you're
I don't
probably
think that's
right, dude.
true.
But ish.
What is the last thing? I mean, I haven't seen her in
I
ages.
I couldn't tell you.
All right, we went down the bug hole.
Maybe
We
the
talked about the fires. We got Cobra Kai. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Remember this? I mean, remember this. Of course you do. Everybody remembers
That's
this.
awesome.
Famous
Yeah.
moment occurring
I
right
saw
here
you
on this
post that
desk.
the other. Yeah, I saw
Recreated
you
the other
post
day
that.
on the new
It's
Drew
so cool.
Barrymore show. Isn't that cool?
Oh, how funny is that?
That's her
That is
desk. And
really
if you look
cool.
closely, there's an old-fashioned microphone just like mine or Dave's, and a mug full of pencils.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think it was just a joke gag thing, but I thought it was pretty funny
Yeah, yeah.
given
Nice
the
little
history.
homage.
Yeah, and considering where
Very
we are,
cool.
and then Mark Pitta did it here once. I don't know if you know the comedian Mark Pitta. He jumped on the desk once, scared the shit out of me. And then you weren't here last week, buddy, but I showed this. I threw this up. It was East Coast Feed. We put him in a commercial 4 years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 years
I
ago. I
saw that
can't
on your
remember.
Instagram. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, he's on the far right there. Yep, that's great.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's pretty great. Very cool.
So anyway, I think we got to most of the stuff, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah.
Viewer mail giveaway. We'll figure out how to give that poster away next episode on Thursday with
I'm
Spike. Oh,
so
and then
excited about Thursday.
so Thursday's going to be Spike, and then and then next Thursday is going to be Madeline Smithberg. Madeline Smithberg is a name that you will not know probably if you're in the car world, but you will definitely know if you're in the comedy world. She not only used to work on Letterman, maybe even at the same time as Spike, but she also co-creator of The Daily Show. You all know The
Nice.
Daily Show? Co-creator. She produced that as well. She's been around. She now is the host of Mad in the Kitchen on YouTube. She has her own YouTube channel. She's cooking at home. She's doing a version of this, but it's a cooking show. So she's going to be here, and I don't know. I want to team up. I want to have her do our cooking segments or something. I think it'd be
That'd
kind
be
of fun.
cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, like the whole like
That's
we're doing a
awesome.
live at 5 or whatever, but then the whole
Yeah,
time she's in Seattle cooking something, and we just keep
that's
checking in with her. How's it
awesome.
going?
That's really
I think that'd
cool.
be kind of
What's
fun.
cooking?
Yeah, you get it. You get it. And
Yeah.
then also Gabe Abelson's going to be back. I think maybe
Nice.
perhaps the week after. I'm going to have a meeting with him
Sweet.
tomorrow, doing a little coffee Zoom kind of deal, coffee FaceTime.
Nice. Very
Do you
cool.
remember Gabe? Gabe also was
Yep.
a it was I think maybe a head writer on Letterman actually, and he was here and he did some mentalism too for us, which
Yep.
was
I
kind of
remember
cool.
that. Yep. That was a good
Kind of
show.
fun. So a lot of people coming up, which is going to be fun. And then there are car people too that I can't announce right now because nothing is confirmed. But obviously Spike on Thursday, and then more car people coming up, more bigger car people,
Sweet.
like whatever. I don't know. It's not Cody Walker. I wish it were Cody Walker. Cody Walker, please. I feel terrible. Are we good, bud? Did we do it?
I think we're good, man. We're at like almost 111, aren't we?
Oh, that's brilliant. Did we cover everything you wanted to cover? I
We
think I'm good.
did. I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna freaking message John Benton. Now you got me. I
Please
forgot
do,
about
because
the
he just
Southgate
I just
connection.
feel like he may be your
Totally
huckleberry
gonna
on
do
that
it.
one. And at the
Yeah,
very
dude. How
least, he'll
cool would
he'll
that be?
probably know the circuit at which it used to be in.
Yeah, how cool would that be? Like he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that car. We used to go
Maybe it was his.
racing.
We
Oh,
know.
I
Who
bet that.
knows?
That'd be so cool. Oh,
It may have to
awesome.
swing
Yep.
by his shop before it comes home to you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get some
Exactly.
photos.
Sweet. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, this was fun. It
Cool,
was
man.
fun. Thanks for telling me
Yeah.
about Cobra Kai and making me watch it. There
I'm
was other
glad you
things I watched
finally
this week,
enjoyed
but
it.
we'll deal with it next.
Yeah.
I
We'll
love you.
get the
I love you,
sound
pal.
fixed before next week too.
Yeah, the one day we didn't do a test run. We always do. It's
Isn't that
funny.
just par for the course?
Love you at home. Thank you very much for tuning us in tonight. If I hadn't mentioned it earlier, I'm going to do it now because I forgot. This is important stuff here, buddy. This is Jay Ryan reminding you that they say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. CoverageForYourToys.com. I'd like to remind you that if you have a collector car or any car, you don't have insurance, you need insurance. If you want to get some insurance, I would highly recommend CoverageForYourToys.com and St. Clair Insurance. Not only is it cars and collector cars, houses, businesses, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, ATCs, if you still have those. I think those are still insurable, even though they're outlawed. Anything like that. Anything you might need insurance for. If you are already a Haggerty customer and you would like to have a more personalized experience, you can check it out from there as well. There is no additional cost. You're just going to get a little bit more love. CoverageForYourToys.com. Buddy, I love you. I love everybody at home. On behalf of Mrs. Ryan, myself, and Mr. Tori Alonso, have a great week. I'll see you Thursday with Spike Ferriston. More then.
Stay safe.